Hi everyone, in this tutorial we want to show how to solve quadratic equations by factoring. And we're going to be considering two situations. Don't forget that the general form of quadratic equations is ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. So we shall be considering situations where a is 1 and the situation where a is greater than 1. A is the leading coefficient in a quadratic equation. Sit back, relax as we take on the ride. The first example we shall be solving is x squared minus 2x minus 15. Here it is obvious that a is equal to 1, as 1 is the coefficient of the leading term, x squared. To solve this by factoring, we are going to look for the factors that these two numbers when multiplied will give negative 15, but when added together, their sum will give negative 2, the coefficient of x. So we can do that one somewhere here. Factors of negative 15 and the sum of these factors. Now, if this product must give negative 15, then it is obvious, certainly obvious, that one of them has to be negative. Let's list out the factors that we can make use of whose product will give negative 15. That can be positive 1 and negative 15. The product of that is negative 15. Then we can try the reverse, which is negative 1 and positive 15. There are two more. We have positive 3 multiplying negative 5 and negative 3 multiplying positive 5. It is time to find their sum. Positive 1 and negative 15 gives negative 14. Negative 1 and positive 15 will give positive 14 when added. Positive 3 and negative 5 will give negative 2, while negative 3 and positive 5 will give positive 2. Since the middle term is negative 2x, the coefficient is negative 2, then the sum of negative 14 will not work. The sum of positive 14 will not work, but the sum that gives negative 2 will work. The last one will also not work, which means that we will be using positive 3 and negative 5. To factor the equation x squared minus 2x minus 15, we know, because the leading term is x squared, that the first bracket must contain an x, the second must contain an x, and that equals to 0. We just lot in our factors as discovered here, positive 3 and negative 5. Now, if we multiply two numbers and the product gives 0, then it means either of the numbers is 0. So if the product of x plus 3 and x minus 5 is 0, then either x plus 3 is 0 or x minus 5 is 0. So if x plus 3 is 0, then definitely x will be negative 3 when we subtract 3 from both sides. And when x minus 5 is 0, then adding 5 to both sides means that x will be 5. Therefore, the solution of the quadratic equation x squared minus 2x minus 15 will be x equals to negative 3 or x equals to 5, positive 5. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like the video and share it. Do not go yet, as we want to consider another example. How do we solve examples where the leading coefficient is greater than 1? In the second example, we have to solve 6x squared minus 7x plus 2 equals to 0. It is obvious here that a is greater than 1. The leading coefficient is 6. A very fast approach to solving this is to use partially the slide and divide method. Check the links in the description box. You will find our tutorial on the slide and divide method. We are going to slide the leading coefficient 6 to the constant term 2. By sliding, we mean they multiply, so that the equation becomes x squared minus 7x plus 12 equals to 0. Don't forget, this is not the original equation, but we are sliding so that the factoring process can be easier. Make sure you watch till the end to see what happens after the factoring. As at the other time, we are going to find the factors of positive 12 the sum of which must give negative 7. Now, if the sum must be negative 7, then it is obvious that a product that will give positive 12 must be both negative. So let's write out all the options. We can have negative 1 and negative 12. We can have negative 2 and negative 6. And finally, we can have negative 3 and negative 4, all giving positive 12. Their sum, the first we give negative 13, the second we give negative 8, while the third we give negative 7. And for us to have a sum of negative 7, the first will not work, the second set of factors will not work, but the third will work, which means that the factors to use are negative 3 and negative 4. Thus, the equation x squared minus 7x plus 12 equals to 0 we factor out as x minus 3 multiplying x minus 4 equals to 0. Now recall that we had slid 6 at the beginning of the solution. So the next step is to use the 6 to divide the second term in each bracket, so that we have the first bracket becoming x minus 3 over 6, that leading coefficient that we slid before, and the second will be x minus 4 over 6 equals to 0. We can reduce them to the lowest terms to give x minus 1 over 2, and the second x minus 2 over 3 equals to 0. Now, if it is only factoring we are to do, then the denominators must go back to the x, the first term, meaning that if it is only factoring we are to do, we will finally have 2x minus 1 and 3x minus 2. But since we are required to solve, we do not need to slide the denominators back to the leading coefficient. We make use of the zero product property right away, meaning that we are going to have x minus 1 over 2 to be 0, or x minus 2 over 3 equals to 0, and x is going to be 1 over 2, or x is going to be 2 over 3. These are the solutions. So we have solved quadratic equations by factoring in two situations where the leading coefficient a is 1 and where it is greater than 1. Don't forget to like, share, comment on this video, and subscribe to this channel to get more. You can also solve this and comment with your solution in the comment box. 5x squared plus 3x minus 2 equals to 0. See you next time.